but also, our whole downtown area is being developed and revitalized as a, potential, center of the city. We want it to be a downtown. We want it to be an attraction, and of course the revenue that comes along with that. And we need to, obviously develop and continue to make it attractive so that this growth is sustained. My comment is that in the poll of the, whatever it is, 5 or 6 options, that basically the majority of people, did select the hybrid, which is basically, something else. I think some are, brought out that, are there other options that are out there, other hybrids that are possible that, are being, that maybe aren't being addressed to the community. And also, if a combination, as I was looking at the pictures, the rock buildup maybe on the north side because of the orientation of Beach Boulevard to the coast is different than the south side, where maybe a sand combination hybrid is a little more practical. So that's my question: is like, can 2 different type of approaches be done at the same time and maybe have a better result? That's it.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Rhonda J. Rhonda, are you there? Should be able to unmute your computer or your tablet, what device you're on. Rhonda, are you there? Can you hear us? There.
Hi, thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
And I really appreciate the information that was shared this evening, and frankly, over the last several months with all the studying and the research and the, frankly, this process has been going on for several years. And I think, we're at a point where we do need to take the next step forward. I fully support the replacing of the seawall. I think we need to look at how we protect not only the neighborhood, but as others have said, the economy and the system that is here in the Palmetto area. It's certainly time and ready for that to happen. And I thank everyone who's been working so hard on this, but let's move forward and take the next step on figuring out the right solution. The seawall option looks excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Peter, you're up next. Peter Loeb.
Hi, I just want to, I'm hearing comments from a couple of other people, Elise and Cindy. People are raising the concern I have about there is no backup plan. I'm all for moving forward. Let's get this done as soon as we can. But what about if we never get funding? And what's the solution? What's the next step? If we do a bond measure and that fails, or the special assessment district was mentioned and that fails? What if we don't get the money? We don't have a backup plan, and that concerns me. And the doing nothing option is not really an option. That's not realistic. That's nonsense. I mean, a backup plan, an emergency plan would be rebuilding the existing, reinforcing the existing seawall to at least protect what's there now. But all of this assumes that this $100 million project is going to be funded. What if it doesn't get funded? We're not talking about a backup plan. I didn't vote in the poll because my option wasn't in there. It wasn't listed. Like, reinforcing the existing seawall to buy us some time, or moving the infrastructure, which that's what the resiliency is about, is protecting that infrastructure. Well, it's going to have to be moved eventually anyway. Maybe it's 100 years from now, but if there is no backup plan, then we're betting all our money. We're betting all our resources on assuming that this is all going to get funded and done. And that's good. We could be years down the road and nothing happens.
You're at the 2 minutes.
I'm done.
And interrupted your ending there. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, I see 2 more hands up. Brian O'Flynn.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for your great work on looking at the different options that we're faced with. I'm been a property owner in Sharp Park for about 20 years. I think that applying science to this challenge is important, and I think we have done that. And I just want to emphasize that it's science, but it's not rocket science, that there's technology all around the world, including somebody mentioned the Netherlands, where they've been very successful at building along the sea. In fact, their entire country is below sea level. Sharp Park and Salado Beach neighborhood along Palmetto is an extremely important part of Pacifica. The promenade itself is like a main street for Pacifica, where people of all ages are walking up and down and meeting and greeting and talking, as well as bringing visitors from out of town. Palmetto is our designated historic main street. It's something that has to be protected. And I would agree with one of the earlier callers talked about the importance of this area as a community, that we're all in Pacifica together. And this is an important part of Pacifica, and we all can work towards a solution. I do think the costs, which are estimated for not doing the seawall or the hybrid project at about 300 and something million is grossly underestimated for all the reasons that were stated earlier: loss of property value, businesses, the other infrastructure, the golf course, et cetera. It's probably more like $1 billion. I think we've been talking about this for a long, long time. We now have a plan, a way forward. It's important to move forward with that and put together the plan so we can go for the funding, which would be the next step. Without the plan, we can't actually reach that funding goal. So thank you for all your help. I'm looking forward to contributing more to it, and I'm looking forward to getting the seawall and or the hybrid seawall built. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, next is Jenny Vega.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Jenny. I lived for 5 years on Beach Boulevard. Now I live in Valimar, homeowner here in Valimar. Very close to my heart, Sharp Park. My ballet school is there on Palmetto. Huge fan of the Fog Fest. My family raised my daughters there. This is a huge, important thing to the whole city. I do hope that with such huge numbers in cost, like people have said, even if we're able to raise that much money to do such a big major project on the seawall, I am hoping that with that kind of a gigantic cost, there will be elements of entertainment value for residents and tourism, but also value for potential developers to develop the whole Sharp Park area, therefore the heart of our town. I want to see elements. I would like to see more elements of how the seawall project could bring in be more than what it already is, not just fixing a problem, but while we're fixing it, make it better, make it a bigger thing for the next generation to enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I think that might be the end of public comment. Thanks everyone for hanging in there with us. Oh, I see one more hand up, and then I think we'll wrap up with closing remarks. So Tony, you have your hand up for public comment. Are you there, Tony?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. Yes. I'm glad to be able to close out the meeting.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I am fully in support of the seawall proposal or a hybrid solution that includes the seawall, not so crazy about just rock revetment alone based on the aesthetics. But, you know, anything is better than nothing. So I just want to say the progress that's been made has been good. I'm glad we're thinking about it. And that's it. Just show that there's a lot of support out there, unspoken from people in the neighborhood. And I think we're moving in the right direction.
Okay, thanks, Tony. And I do see Kimberly has her hand back up. And so let's try, Kimberly, your connection one more time, and then we'll wrap up.
Hi, I hope this works. Can you hear me?
Sounds better so far.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
So I'm Kimberly Williams. I think hopefully you heard before that I'm representing San Mateo County surf rider, and I am local. I've lived in the area for 14 years. A lot of good points have been raised. This is a very complicated and emotional issue, and I respect the fact that everybody is coming to it with different emotions and different terms. To say that, you know, there is a market aspect to this that will catch up to property owners, realtors, and municipalities eventually, just as fire danger is catching up to homeowners that are impacted by that. And eventually the market is going to catch up and balance things out in favor of communities that plan for sea level rise in a more sustainable way. And properties that are in that hazard zone, California is right now already working on solutions that will help communities address those properties and make whole the property owners. So that is coming down the pipe, something to think about. I think that Jillian indicated that more damaging solutions of the seawall and the revetment are only going to lead to more damage to the shoreline in the future and will be less likely to be able to be recovered. And that's how Pacifica got to this place to begin with. And then in terms of funding, I also think that as we move into the future, grant funds are more likely to go to communities who engage in longer term planning and to seek out solutions that are not hard armoring solutions. And ultimately see beautiful beaches here where we do not have this now. And the beaches do make Pacifica a desirable place. And if we sacrifice those, it won't be the same place. So I'll end it there.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we were able to get your full comment there. Thank you. Okay, so I think to wrap up here, we're actually going to try to hear from the mayor again. We tried at the beginning, and now we're going to circle back and get some closing remarks from Mayor Sue Beckmeyer.
Thanks so much. Thanks everyone for being here. And I do apologize for my technological challenges at the beginning of the meeting. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for stepping in and helping out with that opening. I just wanted to say that we've heard a lot of information tonight. There was a lot of information presented and lots of public input. And my hope for this evening was that we would all listen to each other, that the attendees would have and take the opportunity to listen to the experts. And I'm so pleased that that's what occurred. And I'm grateful to everyone for your time, for your open-mindedness, and for your thoughtful comments. And as you heard tonight, there's going to be another meeting. There isn't a public meeting in this format, in this workshop format, but there will be a council meeting. It hasn't been scheduled yet, but it is slated for sometime in June, I believe. It could be, we can arrange it for earlier in May, but just please stay tuned. If you've been receiving emails about this, you'll receive a notice about that meeting. And I'm just grateful that we have such widespread community interest, and I look forward to continuing this process. It is a process, and it is going to take much more input from all of us to bring it to conclusion. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, I think that concludes our workshop tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Echoing what the mayor just shared. Thank you so much for your thoughtful feedback and for staying on late and continuing to participate throughout the last few hours here. So thank you so much. And we'll be following up with the recording, with the post-meeting survey, with the summary down the line. So please feel free to reach out to Ryan with any questions and be on the lookout for follow-up. So thank you so much, everyone. Good night.